Kia ora, everybody. Welcome to Dev Academy info evening tonight. My name is Jack Tolley. I'm the general manager here, and I'm hosting, which is going to be we're going to have a really nice evening together, running through Dev Academy and who we are, what makes us special, what the journey is like, where our grads work. We'll hear from a graduate, Nikki. Thanks so much for joining us, Nikki, and we'll also talk through how the course is structured and whatnot, both Agentic Launchpad, which is our new program for advanced studies, and also our AI software development bootcamp, which is the core program that people tend to do before they go on to the Launchpad. We're going to cover a lot. I'll just run through some of those things. I'm general manager, which means I basically touch across except for coding. I don't teach people to code. I do my own coding background, especially now with AI. I'm writing my own little CLI programs, my little scripts, and I'm running my own processes thanks to these innovations that we're seeing at the moment. And I'm also responsible for making sure that everyone can do their best job, which is a really real big honor. It's a great role to play. We are Dev Academy, and we've been running Dev Academy bootcamp since 2014 was our first bootcamp, and we've been running Dev Academy and dreaming of this since 2013. At the time, I'll tell a bit of a story about where we came from in a moment. We're going to cover, as I said, about us, why Dev Academy, where Dev Academy graduates tend to go. We're going to hear from Nikki. We'll do a course overview. And in terms of asking questions, I really welcome it because we can shape the corridor as we go. And do so either in the chat and they'll pop up and we'll be able to respond to them, or just interrupt and let me know that you've got a question and we can cover it. Things are changing really fast in the industry right now, and we're right at that leading edge of the wave. So it's exciting, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but it's also really a beautiful time to be creating technology and shaping the industry as Dev Academy graduates tend to do. So I'm going to jump in. Let me slide to the next slide. In 2012, when Dev Academy was first being framed up as an idea, the founders, Rohan and JV, spoke to over 40 employers. And the reason what they were hearing initially to prompt them to do that was, we can't find enough devs. We're growing so fast, we can't find good talent. We need to bring it from offshore, and we want people, but we can't find them. That was caused them to go on this discovery journey to talk to employers, and they asked a simple question: what makes a good dev a great dev? What makes a good developer a great developer? And what Rohan and Joshua found was, what they thought they would hear was, developers are great developers because they know huge amounts of code. They're just superhumans, or they're just machines on the keyboard, and their technical prowess is really, really high. In fact, what most of those employers said, or what the trends were that we discovered in that analysis from those employer conversations, were a number of things. Your ability to work with others, your ability to ask for help when you need it, especially in juniors, your ability to collaborate and solve problems, how fast you can learn new technologies, and your ability to give and take feedback and self-regulate yourself as you go through in the industry. Basically, all of the things that mean being a great human mean being a great developer, being able to be part of a great team. We were quite surprised, and that has formed the foundation of everything that at Dev Academy that we do and we've done for the last 12 years. The collaboration, the working with others, the high intensity group project work, both in the full-time and part-time boot camps, and the looking after each other as you go through the course and go through the job hunt into the industry. We continue to have those conversations every year, and in the last 18 months, we've had them in much greater earnest because AI has come in, and AI has dramatically changed the way that software development is being done. And Nikki and I, when we last did this together, we talked a little bit about that. I'm sure you'll touch on it as well. But one of the things that I noticed at the beginning of the year was that the really established software developers were saying to me, I'm not really writing code anymore. I'm not writing code anymore. I'm getting my AIs to do it for me, and I'm evaluating that output of that code. So we started to realize that things are changing very rapidly. So we went out and spoke to another 25 or 30 employers. So in 2026, we did the same as we did back in 2012. And we found that there were some core competencies that haven't changed. Your ability to work in teams, your ability to give and take feedback, your ability to work well and ask for help when you need it as a junior developer. But then there are some others. when you're running AI systems, you really want to be able to ask deeper questions of those systems so that when you can look at the output, you can really interrogate it and say, hey, help me understand each of these different layers of the decision you've made and the trade-off you've made so that you can stand by it when you're pushing that code to production. Discernment and taste has really come through judgment. Your judgment of is this something beautiful, or is this something that is going to stand the test of time? And we've all seen the AI generated one-page websites that have proliferated. And when they first came out in November, I made my own first one for the first time. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you can do this. But of course, the thing that's going to last the test of time is the taste, to know that you're producing something unique, something that's worthy, something that's really meaningful. And so that's becoming more of the conversation in the industry right now, developing taste as you go through and as a developer. And then the last one is knowing what good code is. So it's related, but much more being able to interrogate if they're like the errors and the risks in the code as it's been produced, and be able to build systems around that so that you catch those errors and then you build more robust and more sophisticated and more long-standing code. And we're finding that developers at the moment are becoming much more generalist. They used to have front-end developers and back-end developers and mobile developers and people who coded only in Python or only in C++. And now, because AI systems are such that people are able to code in just about any language that's under the sun if they have good knowledge of good coding practices and good software development practices. And so we're giving you the opportunity to learn that as you come through both the boot and the Agentic Launchpad. Our mission, and I think the thing that's really been meaningful for me over many years is that the purpose of doing this is a better, kinder, more diverse tech industry. And kinder has been a really important part of this, is that we want to grow people who are well-rounded. We want to provide an environment where people can come in with all of their gifts and knowledge and they can apply it into tech. And we provide the container or the environment for people to be able to learn new technology at speed, to translate their skills and knowledge and capabilities from the rest of their lives or from their careers and from their family lives into tech, and really lean into the strengths of that as they go on that job hunt afterward. And our integrity, kindness, and effort have formed the foundation of our values as we navigate the bootcamp, which have parallels in terms of aroha tika ampono and te ao Māori. Very beautiful. It's been very cool to be part of this. And I'll tell you a little bit about the bootcamp itself. We'll come to Launchpad later, but obviously for me, most of our focus should really be on the bootcamp. So you can graduate in 17 weeks with a level 6 qualification, or you can graduate in 46 weeks part-time. So it's 4 months or 11 or 12 months, depending on when you start. When I last counted, and I did this for the info session we did recently, info evening, over something like 738 employers have a Dev Academy graduate in the country, which means that I think this means lots of things, but one of the things that it means is that people know us. People know us and they like us, and they are motivated to have more Dev Academy graduates in their environment because people think differently. One of the employers that I spoke to last week said Dev Academy graduates come with the batteries included, which means that they've got all of the ability to work with others, and all of it comes from the life experience that we help translate in the bootcamp into the tech context. Human skills will get you work, and this is much more in the collaboration space. The solving difficult problems in teams and being able to navigate that is important. Caden Vo has said, throughout the 3 years of my bachelor's, I felt like I remained the same person, whereas 3 months at Dev Academy transformed me. We find that a lot. It's really exciting to see when someone has that experience of going, wow, I touched some of my own capability that I didn't know that I had. And we do that at Dev Academy. Here are some of the employers that we have folks working at. When we would have done this 10 years ago, it would have been Xero and Trade Me. They would have been very much the leading lights in this. And now we're seeing a whole host of other companies come through. Henry in Wellington, Halter, FNZ, which has been it's a massive technology company. It's as big as Xero, but it's under the radar. Mostly has overseas clients, Tracksuit, and then some of the most PushPay, and then some of the most long-term bricks and mortar technology businesses like Westpac, ANZ, BNZ have employed Dev Academy grads and continue to come to us and say, hey, we'd really like some graduates to apply to this role that we have open. Gallagher is another that we've just had approach us for more roles. They're based in Hamilton, and they're a really interesting tech company because they're so homegrown, and they're also got a massive global reach in what they do, both in the agricultural industry and in security. So very happy to be a part of amongst these companies. Oh, we're going to go straight to Nikki. I didn't give you a warning on that, but we can do that now. And do, folks, make sure you bank your questions if you've got them. But we're going to pass over to Nikki. And Nikki, you can tell me when you want me to switch screens as you tell a bit of your story.
Awesome. Do you want to go over to the first one? And I'll just do a little introduction. Great. So, hi everyone. I'm Nikki. Just a little bit of background on me. I actually started out studying fashion. So, I did a Bachelor of Design at AUT, which I graduated from in 2023. Pretty quickly after that, I realized that I wanted to do something with more problem solving and a bit more long-term stability. So, I discovered coding. And very quickly, after talking to some people in the tech industry, heard about Dev Academy. They definitely are. They're so well known around New Zealand employers and around the tech space just because of the reputation that they've had with graduates, like Jack was talking about before. So since then, I've worked at 2 jobs in the tech industry. So first, I was a junior software engineer at FNZ, and now I'm working at eRoad, which is really exciting. So I'll talk to you a bit more about that soon. Do you want to flick over to the next slide there, Jack? Cool. So a little bit about my experience with Dev Academy in the bootcamp. It's only a few months, but the scale of new information and techniques and processes that you learn within that short space of time is really amazing. And the level of support that you have from the team is really unparalleled. It was a really big risk for me. I did the full-time course and I quit my job and decided to just do the bootcamp full-time. And I remember feeling so nervous, but as soon as I got there, you just find out that you're with a bunch of people that are in the same boat, and that you've also got just a really high emphasis on communication, teamwork, and self-awareness. They combine technical skills with human skills, which really has had a big impact on all of the jobs that I've had since, and even in my personal life as well. I feel like you really do, like that quote that we heard before from the other graduate, I would completely agree that the amount that you grow and develop in those few months at Dev Academy is not even close or way surpasses what I did when I was doing my Bachelor of Design. Something else that also really is great about Dev Academy that I have to mention is that time period. Rather than having to go to university and get a whole degree, you're actually able to get those qualifications in a really short space of time, which just makes such a huge difference. And I've gotten lots of jobs, and as you can see from the other graduates, Dev Academy really does set us up to be at the same level as those computer science graduates. And also what you're seeing on the screen is actually my final group project. So as part of Dev Academy's course, you actually build up until at the end where you build a proper app that you can then display at a presentation night. So that was really exciting for us. Do you want to flick over to the next one, Jack? Cool. So a little bit about my first job. So at FNZ, I worked as a junior software engineer. It's a financial platform built for financial advisors, and they're all over the world. I think that this role gave me a really good foundation moving into tech, and also realizing how real production systems work. And that's something that Dev Academy actually does set you up for really, really well. Because what you notice when you move into a junior role in the tech industry is that they're actually not looking for you to know everything. They're looking for you to understand how to ask for help, how to be curious, how to be somebody that they can count on to really give it your best shot. That's all they're looking for, which is great. And if you want to go to the next slide, my current job at eRoad, I've been there for a few months now, and I have to say it's a really exciting time to be getting a job in tech. As Jack mentioned before, we're really seeing the rise of AI, and the things that we're doing on a day-to-day basis are just amazing. The amount of time that it takes to create new features and to actually go in and figure out what it is that you need to do, it's all completely really fast now with AI as a tool in your toolkit. The biggest thing that I've noticed at eRoad in comparison to FNZ is that even in just the short space of time between transitioning jobs, companies are actively wanting you to use AI. Because there was actually an analogy that at my company, we had a global company update today. Something that they mentioned is that it's like giving all of the developers a race car. So it's giving developers the opportunity to be innovative and reduce time on things that would otherwise be, take a week. It only takes a day. So it is quite an exciting time to go into tech. And if you go over to the next slide, if there's one thing that I'd like to, oh, it's gone, don't worry. But if there's one thing that I'd like to leave you with, it's that there's no single path into tech, and you don't have it all figured out before you start. As long as you focus on building your technical skills and your human skills and being okay with not knowing everything and being curious to actually learn. That's what it is in the tech industry at the moment. Everybody is learning. Yeah, it's actually where most of the growth happens. Thank you.
It's very true, Nikki. I think there's like a misnomer in the industry, a misnomer from folks outside the industry that people who are in the industry have it all sorted and all worked out. And in fact, most of the senior developers I know are often saying, I don't know, on a daily basis. They're often coming up against problems that they've never seen before. And it's really the practice or the approach to solving problems. What do you do when you get stuck? What do you do when you don't know what to do next? What do you do when you're frustrated? All of those things. Or who do you call on when you don't know what to do next? And how do you work together and pull in support to solve problems that makes a good developer a great developer? And I think that's really what we're hoping, that's what we expect to train in the bootcamp program. And most developers in the program are going to have lots of moments where they don't know what to do next. And we think of our facilitators not so much as teachers who know everything, but much more as coaches who support you and to teach you how to ask the questions you need to ask as you go. Liz, you've said you've actually worked at FNZ. That's so great to see. And I did notice that Liz and Jordan had both signed up. So that's really great to have you here. Not sure if you're going to share anything, but that's cool. Very welcome to. So great. Questions for you, Nikki. Can you tell us a bit about your group project? What was it that you worked on at the final group project?
Yes. So our group project that we did when we were at Dev Academy, so that is their Nostalgic. So what we did is we created time capsules, but they were specifically for photos. So people could go in and create a time capsule, and then you can actually set a timer. We did quite a few in our demo, which was quite fun, like one 18 years from now, and then of course one a few minutes from now, so that people could actually see that you can open the capsule when it works, and we don't have to all reconvene in a decade. But yeah, it was based on nostalgia, which is why we called it Nostalgic. My team was lovely. Yeah. Still keep in contact with everyone too. It shows the long-term relationships that you do make when you're at Dev Academy.
Yeah, do you want to say anything about that, about what it's like making connections while you're at Dev Academy?
Yeah, it's a really unique experience because you're spending such a huge amount of time together. You actually get the opportunity to meet people from lots of different backgrounds, lots of different ages, but we're all in the same phase. So you really do get to know people, not only on a personal level, but also when you see different styles of working. And because I think, like I say, you're all in the same phase, you really do make those connections and encourage each other. It's a really encouraging environment, really collaborative. And you always get to rotate around the group too. So you're not just with one person, you all become a really tight-knit cohort.
Yeah, that's really,
Yeah.
and we're
Same
running
with the
fully.
coaches, actually.
Go for it, Nikki.
Oh, I was just going to say, same with your coaches and the people they're actually teaching you. You get to know them really well, and they're always happy to answer questions at any hour. Sometimes in our Discord chats, we'd all be chatting about stuff. But yeah, no, really lovely people.
And
Can
fully
I ask?
remotely. So the boot camp is designed to
Oh,
be done
yep,
remotely
Liz,
now.
was that
Oh,
you?
You can
sorry.
co-work in Auckland and Wellington and Christchurch.
Oh, Jack,
Regardless
I
of that,
think Liz had a
a huge
question.
amount of flexibility about where they are, but it also gives people the chance to, the way that we run our Discord, and I'll give you a preview about it afterwards, the way that we run our Discord and our live sessions and whatnot, people were surprised at how well they get to know each other, even online. So these are lasting relationships that you create in your peer group as you go through the boot camp as well.
I think Liz had a question.
Did you?
Yeah, just was going to ask, like, for the project work, is that just something that the team just comes up with their own idea of a project they want to work on, kind of thing, or how
Nikki,
does
do
that
you want to
work?
describe how it was for you? It hasn't
Yeah,
changed much.
Yeah, so you get guidance and you build up to the project. So it's not, you don't get thrown in the deep end or anything, and they give you a lot of, assistance on the actual process. We actually, when we were doing the boot camp, we followed normal workplace or kind of replicating what would happen in a real product environment, in a real project team. You do get to come up with your own ideas, but you do go through group brainstorming sessions. So everybody will get the opportunity to pitch ideas, really big on trying to get as many ideas as possible. And then you decide on a direction and you have planning sessions as a team. So it's really learning the real world process, which going into my job, especially my first job when I started at FNZ, it was a really good skill to have, understanding that workflow.
Yeah. Okay. When were you at FNZ, by the way?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's such a small world. So
Yeah.
I was at FNZ from would have been start of 2025 until the start of this year.
Oh, okay.
So which department are you in? Sorry, we're
I am
sidetracked.
a developer. I'm on level 2. So, yeah.
Are you in the Auckland?
No, Wellington.
Ah, okay, I'm in Auckland.
Oh,
That's probably
okay.
why we didn't see each other. I was in the Auckland
Okay.
office.
All
This
right.
is so sweet.
Yeah.
To say also on projects, we do 7 group projects across the program and they get progressively longer. So you do a day-long 24-hour group project Thursday night through to Friday night. And they start and they're very structured. We give you requirements and expectations about what you deliver. And as we do more and more repetitions of that, we get more confident to give you the free rein. So we do single group projects and then we go to a multi-day group project. And then we go to a 4-day teacher-led group project, and then we go to your 8-day final group project where students pitch ideas and they get, and one of those gets chosen to build, just for example, like Stalgic that Nikki's created.
Okay.
Cool.
And what's the boot camp? So that's a lot of hours, right? A week. So how do you usually structure that? Is that over 5 days or is that over 7 days? Like,
It's a good question. It's really good timing because I'll come to that.
okay.
And briefly, the headline is that we do for the full-time boot camp, we do 8:45 to 5:15 every day. And then there's evening work that you often are catching up on material or prepping for the next day or working on your personal project or prepping for lightning talks. So that tends to be most evenings and one weekend day.
Okay.
Yeah. So here is a little bit about the course. We're going to talk about Agentic Launchpad first. This is our new program. It's our advanced program. It is our response to where the industry is going. And I'll talk about Bootcamp itself and the way that we introduce AI and we get you using AI from the beginning. Agentic Launchpad is the natural extension on from Bootcamp. It's where you get hundreds of hours of experience running teams of agents. You're learning AI foundations and then advanced agentic systems and practices from JV or Joshua, who's our co-founder and has been in AI, building full stack apps for 3.5 years using AI systems. So we think that the industry will go in 2 directions. One will be folks who are very much waiting to see how the technology plays out, and then the other will be folks who go in and start into this agentic developer type role. And be over 16 weeks. It's actually a 40-hour a week course. And our aim is to graduate the most competitive developer graduates into the industry who stand out against everyone else who comes out of the universities and other places when they come through the Agentic Launchpad, which we're running our pilot of at the end of this month, starting the 27th of June. So that's going to be really exciting. The bootcamp. As you said, Liz, the full-time bootcamp is intensive. It's live and intensive. It's over 17 weeks. And our next course starts at the end of August. The part-time bootcamp is much more flexible. You can keep working, you can keep childcaring, you can keep managing your health if you've got a health condition, which means you can't study full-time or intensively. And it's actually take breaks over school holidays as well. So it's flexible, you can keep working. It runs over 46 weeks. Both of them have the same curriculum, the same support, and the same fees. The next part-time bootcamp starts next Monday, but it's possible to start late on that program if you need to. Here's how the part-time course is structured. It's about 19 hours or 20 hours a week over the duration of the course. In the bootcamp part, in the foundations, it's 10 weeks of mostly JavaScript now, JavaScript, core skills, and a little bit of HTML and CSS. And then bootcamp is where we teach full stack JavaScript and TypeScript, and we get you building apps. The bootcamp itself in the part-time program, we do group projects every month. It's usually on the last Saturday, Sunday of each month. And that's an opportunity to get together, work in a team and deliver something by about 3 o'clock on Sunday that you then record and share with the rest of the cohort. Part-time is much more asynchronous to fit around people's lives, and we do have those live sessions that run through the program, so you get the group work that you need. The full-time course is structured in 3 parts as well. The Foundations is only 6 weeks. It's 40 hours a week. Again, it's JavaScript and with some HTML and CSS thrown in, and it also gives you the ability to write a blog and do some self-reflection on your learning journey and your goals. Camp is, we would say, probably about 60 hours, and 8:45 to 5 every day, live on Zoom and Discord, a mix of live lectures and pre-recorded lectures, all challenge content. So you're building and you're pair programming with people all day, every day. And then on Fridays, you have one day, 24-hour group project and human skills we have in this program. We have it on Thursday mornings during the bootcamp. For part-time, we tend to do them on an evening. Maybe a Wednesday evening is what we're doing at the moment for the part-time bootcamp, but it runs for 10 weeks and starting in October. I'll give you those dates if you need them. In both cohorts, we have the career skills as well, and it's a 2-week period focused on CVs, interviewing, technical interviewing, cover letters, a whole lot of content around your story and what story that you tell, and making sure that it's a story that feels authentic to you and is also compelling, and leaning on all your group experience and your learning experience from the bootcamp. So we use that to help you translate everything you learn in bootcamp and your previous career into the job hunt. In the bootcamp, you're going to build full stack apps. You're going to have hundreds of hours of pairing and working in a team, writing software. You're going to get human skills training, and you're going to learn the latest in AI. With the bootcamp, what we're doing is we're asking you to get an AI subscription or using AI chatbots to coach alongside you right from the beginning of Foundations, and then that's going through Foundations and then into the bootcamp phase. That's really exciting to see the ways that we progressively scaffold the kind of AI training that you do with us. So we're not getting you to write code right from the beginning because it's potentially a huge mess. We're getting you to get confident with prompting and asking good questions and asking and engaging with the AI and not taking it at face value. And we're layering on particular new skills and capabilities on top as we progress through the bootcamp. We have a reflection skill, we have a tutoring skill, we have a brainstorming and evaluation skill, and then we've got a coding skill, which we introduce right at the end. Here's some of the technologies that we're teaching. Obviously, JavaScript and TypeScript are becoming very primary. We've got to do React on the front end and Node on the back end, and we teach a little bit of SQL as well. Here's Discord. We use Discord to celebrate and share updates and work together. It's really active. I've just shown you a segment just of the facilitators because obviously privacy. Here's a little bit of a run through of all the channels that we've got for our most recent cohort. We often run individual voice channels and chat channels for pair programming, and then we do the chat channels for whatever it is that you need to share. For example, the general channel and human skills channel and the Wellington channel and the Christchurch channel and so on for those particular crews. This is one of our co-working spaces. This is in Wellington. We've got co-working in Auckland and Christchurch as well. We're probably our aim will be for the full-time bootcamp, get folks in for a full group project. So everyone in Wellington come in and do a full group project, or everyone in Auckland do a full group project later this year for the August intake. And then with careers. Rohan is our co-founder. He's been running careers for 13 years and helping people into the industry. It is a tough time to get a job in the industry right now. It's taking people time to get work. We see it on LinkedIn, we see it around. What we know is that the two things that are going to make a massive difference. One is a really strong and appropriate training and all of the rounded skills that you need to get work. Being able to write code and read code and be a developer. And secondly, being able to work in a team, confidence, your ability to work with others, your ability to give and take feedback, all of those human skills that we train. I'd probably tack on the AI experience as well. We know that those three things are fundamental to getting work in tech, and then career skills layers on top of that. As I say, it is a time in the industry where most employers are hiring in smaller numbers in across the whole stack. And this training and the bootcamp training itself is really the best opportunity you've got to pathway into the industry. So we think of it as a formula. We think of it as it needs to be network based. You need to be going to events, and we'll coach you through how to do that. And we'll do some one-on-one coaching after the course to help you get work in tech. And that formula works for people and we see people getting work. So Rohan, lots and lots of experience in this space, really approachable, and he's leading the team that runs career skills and supports you one-on-one on the job hunt. Is this course for me? So, in terms of requirements, you'll obviously need to be in the industry. Need to be available to study. If it's a part-time program, you need to have up to 20 hours a week of study available, and you can fit that in during the days or in the evenings. It is flexible in that way. In the full-time program, really, you can't really work. You can't really work during the boot camp to get things out of the program or to get what you need. It is awesome. That's really nice. Would be great to have perhaps been able to answer those questions earlier, but perhaps I'll talk to them now. In terms of requirements, though, coming back to that, it really is about availability. It's about your support network, your ability to respond and deal with hard stuff as you go on, and then it's also about your ability to you need to have NCA level 2 if you're under 20, and you also would go through and get a student loan or pay your fees via bank transfer. We've got payment plans available. Application. So what you need to do to apply for any of our programs, Agentic Launchpad, the full-time boot camp starting in August, or the part-time boot camp starting in July, is go online, click the apply button, and apply for the course. The application takes about 10 minutes, and then what you do from there is you get invited to book a phone call with one of our team, with Sarah. Okay, so the commitment is I've spoken to as well. In terms of the number of hours, you do need to do a fair number of hours in the course. In terms of fees, the course is 13,000. It covered on student loan, or you can pay via bank transfer. The two options for that are pay deposit now, secure your place, and then pay in full a month before the boot camp starts, the boot camp specifically. And we also talking to people about monthly and fortnightly payment plans as well. We know they're really helpful, so we're doing those frequently, and you can just get in touch and ask. We're really happy to chat. The person who's just left has asked a few questions. What would really love to know, what would make Dev Academy different from Mission Ready or other intensive programs? It's a really good question. And I would really talk about what makes us special in that way. And there's a couple of things that I would highlight in terms of our program are we are very targeted in software development. Everything we do, we strip out everything else from trainings, and we're not focused on training a general technology person. We're focused on giving you the skills to get a job as a developer or a tester or an AI developer or an agentic developer. Those skills are the ability to write code, the ability to work with others, and the ability to use AI or manage AI systems to be able to write code for you. The trainings are really stripped back and focused in that way. And I think one of our strengths in this space is that we create a live intensive group environment. Our teachers, we have 2 teachers on the bootcamp. They're available full-time alongside you during the course. And we have a human skills coach who come into the program as well and delivers that part of the program and all the pastoral care. When it comes to AI, we haven't seen anyone else in the country who's got the level of experience that JV has or Joshua has in running AI systems, and what he's been able to bring into Bootcamp with Pocket, and what he's been able to bring into Agentic Launchpad with running teams of 15 plus agents to write code, all the pitfalls and practices that come with that. Now, this person's also asked another question, which is how much handwritten code is expected? Nikki, perhaps you could talk to me a little bit about this, and I'll give you, if you're ready, you should just jump in. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so what I find on a day-to-day basis, especially at eRoad, is that we're really encouraged to use AI and use agentic workflows where possible. I think we're in a transition stage at the moment with businesses starting to adopt more AI and starting to get into using agentic workflows. So it's still it's not, you still write a bit of code and you still need to be able to be the human that can understand what you're reading, which I think is what I got from Dev Academy and then the experience at FNZ. So having that foundation of actually understanding what you're reading and making sure that it's doing what it needs to do, or what feature you're creating is actually not too many lines of code, if that makes sense. Because sometimes when you ask AI to do something, it goes, oh, great, let me do that, and then delete a bunch of other things. But of course, as AI is getting smarter and it's getting more trained and it's being put into the context of specific businesses and specific needs, you do see it getting refined and getting smarter. But at the same time, they need developers to build it. So it's a lot of opportunity. I'm quite excited about the innovation that I'm experiencing at the moment. Businesses are actively going, what can you automate? How can you help us transition to being really leaning in to AI? So yeah, it's quite exciting.
I would add to that, and I'm seeing a full spectrum of employers. None of our developers write any code, full stop. We're fully agentic. We're all in. We can't get enough of this. And the problem we have now is we have too much code being produced, and we've got to develop a agentic workflow for reviewing PRs or pull requests to merge the code in and safely and securely into production. And so what they're finding is that their new problem is not how many developers are confident enough to write agentic code, but how they can actually moving the issue down the pipeline now. So they're working on new issues and new issues. So very much there's a leading group of people who are all in, really hungry. Now, I would say that at the other end, I've talked to one of the banks recently about this. They're like, it's interesting, but we're just not that convinced it's game changing. They've said to me, the role of a bank is to be able to sustain itself for the next 150 years. We've been around for 150, we're going to be around for another 150. And we've got software in our team and our stack that was built in the 1990s. So what we know is that anything that's being built today is likely to have to be looked at for another 20 years. So we want to make sure it's good, which is why we still believe in developers writing things by hand or certainly being able to stand by the code that they produce wholeheartedly and completely. And that means that they're much slower to adopt. The other thing that employers are looking for is they want to feel confident that tokens are going to remain affordable. And that's something that remains to be seen. So there's a big group in the middle who we're really interested and excited about this, but we're somewhere along the spectrum, and most of our devs are still
It's so true. I might just quickly, before we move on, that's so true. There are so many businesses out there that are really skeptical of AI, which is, I think, is okay. It's okay in different ways, because it means that as developers, you're always going to have an opportunity. There's always going to be a business that says, oh, no, we don't use AI, if you really are passionate about writing code. But I think it's just finding those opportunities. And like Jack just mentioned, token price. I've recently heard people talking about that at work as well, where it's evaluating what is the budget for AI. Yeah. Big discussions happening at the moment.
Yes, it's definitely something where we are too. People use up all their token allocation before the month's up, and then they want to borrow other people's that haven't used it all. And yeah,
Yeah, token trading.
yeah.
It's competitive. So different companies are hitting that limit at different points. We think our philosophy really is we have to teach it. We have to be at the bleeding edge of this. In time, probably every company will be using some form of agentic development. There are some that are really far ahead, and we're serving those really well. And there are some that love Dev Academy graduates for different reasons. And it's those human skills, it's the ability to work with others, and it's the ability to write good code that hasn't changed in what we deliver. So I think that's been a really good question to prompt here. We've actually come to the end of our slides. We could take any more queries that folks have. Otherwise, we can start to wrap up.
Yeah, kia ora, guys. I wanted to understand more about the part-time.
Yeah, great.
And because you did mention it was 20 hours a week, but what does it look like, and Because if we're working, how do we work around that?
Yeah, it's a great question. And just start queuing up questions in the chat so that we can make sure that we get through them if there's any more that are coming in. The questions that we have, the way that part-time is structured is really with school terms. Term 3 is coming up soon. That's going to be your foundations, 10 weeks of foundations. And so foundations is designed to be done asynchronously, even in the full-time program by yourself. We have every sprint, and there are 6 sprints in that, or 5 sprints in that 10 weeks. Every sprint we have a home group call, which is a chance to meet other students and meet your facilitator and ask questions. Tend to be scheduled in the evenings or just with what the group can make. It might be over lunch times, or if the group's people who work full-time during the day, it'll probably be evenings. The next thing, that's the foundation, so very flexible. The only commitment is every fortnight, probably a half-hour call that is scheduled around people's schedules. In the boot camp, you've got term 4, which is, we've got 3 terms of boot camp, basically term 4, and then term 1 and 2 of next year. In the boot camp, you have for the first 10 weeks in October, term 4, we're going to have a Zoom call on human skills, probably one evening each week, probably Wednesday evenings. And these are all communicated as part of the dates for the course. There'll be Wednesday evenings. They're about 7:30 to 9 p.m. They're group work, getting connected, working on particular topics around bias and leadership and feedback and self-reflection and agile and all these things you need to be able to be a well-rounded developer. And like I say, every month starting in October, we do a group project which runs usually 10 till 5 on Saturdays and 10 till 3 on Sundays. And they are flexibly scheduled, so it means that we communicate well ahead of time if you need to attend a live session, and they're also largely expected to be available over those weekends. We provide those dates as well. I wonder if I can get them now. Does that ask me some more questions about that, Harlan? I want to make sure I've got the info that you've given you the info you need. Is that good for you? Okay, move on to the other questions from Liz. I'm going to have weirdly lost them.
Do you want me to
Oh, found it
read
now.
it out? You got it? Cool.
Yeah. Do you have many students who are not keen on the AI aspect, and how do you get around that? Largely, we're finding that people are understanding that it's a necessary thing. What we find mostly now is that the students who are coming through the program with us are like, yeah, cool, we can see that it's part of the future. I'll take some of it on board and I'll learn those skills. And we do tend to have, we've started to see a group project that's, oh my God, I'm so agentic. And they're like, we tend to find those students want to group together, which is really great. And then the rest of the cohort splits out into group projects from there as well. We also, I don't see a future where AI is not used at all in development teams. And so we're pretty clear that this is a competency that's necessary to be successful in the industry. And then the question, do you have many or any students who are able to move into the game design space after completing Dev Academy? We have had students go into game design. The things that make students successful in game design, in my experience, are a natural curiosity, hunger, desire to be in that industry. It's pretty dog eat dog. It's as in game design, or it's like being at Weta. You work really hard in your game design studios. So as a developer in game design, you probably need to be building your own indie games. You probably need to be like connecting in with the community. And again, it's really around networks, getting in, being able to show what you've built, being able to show people that that's the space that you want to play in, and you're likely to get picked up. We have had students go in. Nikki?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I might add on to that during when I was at Dev Academy on those Friday projects that you do as a small team, my group actually created a few different games. So the stuff that you make in those projects, because they're only one day, you can actually get a bit creative with it and work with your team. They're not always polished and perfect because you've only got a day, but you can definitely branch into that area. And the other thing that I thought I'd mention about game development is Xero does, which I heard through Dev Academy and went to a few of them. They're like some junior developer meetups. And when I went, you actually get to meet people who are in different areas. And I was talking to a game developer at the last one. So opportunities are there.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
It's okay.
Awesome. That looks like it's all. Harlan, I'm just going to paste into the chat, and you should save it, the schedule for the group projects and the foundation and the human skills sessions. And then those are the key dates that you need. You can just thumbs up that when you've taken them. Otherwise, I think we'll bring it to a close. Was there anything else that you wanted to share, Nikki? Anything final thoughts?
No, just thank you everyone for coming along and listening to us talk about Dev Academy.
Yay. And thank you for coming along too and being part of it, Nikki. It's always a delight to do it with you.
It's always
Really
great to catch up.
love seeing the journey.
Thank
Thank you,
you for having
everyone.
us.
Been great. Awesome. Glad that you got those. It's been great. We'll share this recording with you later this week and you can come back to it if you want to. So thank you very much and have a good evening wherever you are. May it be restful. May you have a great sleep. All of those things.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.